Hello, besties. Welcome to Martinez with Eddie, your ultimate destination for everything Bravo. Join me as we spill the tea, dissect the drama, and uncork the juiciest gossip from your favorite reality TV shows. Guys, um, I'm excited because at, as we speak, there is a crazy reunion happening at this right moment. And it's the reunion for the Housewife of New Jersey. Based on what I have heard, it's quite explosive. It's quite heated. Um, Andy even said on his Instagram that he is afraid that he might be forced to get in between people. I have more stuff to tell you guys, but I will save them for later. I want to start with I want to start by saying thank you first. Uh Today I checked the progress of my podcast and how much has grown and stuff like that. And in 4 months between November and March, Martini with Eddie has garnished up to 10,200 plus downloads and listen. And that is only in 4 months. That is a big number for a small podcast. And this is all thanks to you. So I want to thank you, besties, for the love, the support, for coming here on the live and leave your comments, for listening, for agreeing with me, for disagreeing with me, but always coming here and knowing that this space it's truly a spot where we can all share our opinions on Bravo. I'm not trying to be an echo chamber and just have my opinion heard. Obviously, I some people say that I'm too biased, but I want to make sure that people know that this podcast it's me sharing my opinion with you guys on all these Bravo shows. I'm not trying to bring like I don't want to be like a news person. I mean, I want to share my opinion. Obviously, if there's any big news or anything to share, I'm here for that too. But I want you guys to feel like you are talking to a friend. So when you are here, even if you don't agree with me, let me know because I will make sure to share your opinion with the world. Thank you. Thank you for 10,200 plus downloads. That is something that I appreciate. And I know who's always here. I know who always come live. And I see you guys are here, guys. Thank you so much. I wanted to start with that because from now on, it's bigger stuff. More Bravo Labs are coming on soon. More content creators are gonna be joining me. I have planned out a massive episode for the Vanderpump reunion recap. It's gonna be massive. You guys have no idea. Um, so stick around with Martina with Eddie. We have lots coming up. And with that said, let's start into the show, the recaps. I want to start with Ultimate's Girls Trip just because it ended tonight. And if you haven't seen it, I'm just gonna say that it was a cute episode. I'm not sure if it's my favorite episode of the franchise. I'm not sure if it was a good way to end it. But one thing that I'm going to say is that everybody on that show definitely brought something. Sometimes it didn't land to at least to me. And in this episode, what is quite annoying is the fact that we are back to the tequila bottle situation. That I'm not interested, you know? So if you haven't watched the episode, I will say come back like in 10 minutes so I don't spoil the episode for you. If you're listening on the podcast, you can fast forward um, and come back when you listen so you can share your opinions on it. But Ultimate Girls Trip truly has uh, reinvented Housewives, and I appreciate that. You know, it's been 3 seasons so far. Each season is different than the other one. I'm still a fan of the second season because I wanted to catch up with those ladies. Those ladies went on RTV for a very long time. So season 2 to me has been the more successful out of all 3. Um, in this last episode of Ultimate Girls Trip Thailand, um, the focus is that goddamn bottle of tequila. And I do not understand why Giselle made it a point to even plan this whole printing out a big poster of the tequila bottle and play this like core game. One Once again, Giselle doing the most. She thinks she's entertaining, and to me that felt so flat. We spent maybe like 30 minutes out of the 50 minutes that the show run talking about that goddamn tequila bottle. I do agree with Candace. Candace said that she feels like she's retaliating from um, all the drama that they had during the Potomac season, the last season. Giselle, you know, kind of alluding at the fact that Chris made her feel like he was like doing something wrong. You know the whole story. You watched the season. We watched the reunion. It was quite explosive, and I'm still on Chris and Candace's side because to me, Giselle is allowed to have her feelings, but the way that she presented and tried to spin the narrative the whole entire season was that Chris was being inappropriate. And that's what Candace said on this episode. She said that the only reason why Giselle keeps bringing up this bottle, the only reason why she keeps pointing fingers at Candace is because she's trying to, you know, kind of like revenge mode, from last season. I still believe that Giselle has a really bad tendency of accusing people of like really dangerous, labels. On one side, you have Chris being accused of being either a predator or sexual harassment, and now you have on this side Candace being accused of being a thief, and those are really dangerous labels because it can ruin somebody's reputation. We mentioned it before. Her performance on her podcast is sometimes very questionable. She had said stuff that people kind of raise eyebrows. So it's painting an image of Giselle of being somebody who does not care what she says for the sake of entertainment. And sometimes that can be dangerous. That can put you in a position that you can say something that's going to get you canceled. But this whole court scene that we watched, I think it was such a dumb ass shit to watch. The only thing that I really enjoyed about that moment is when Giselle said, like, let's have a Jen Shah moment. If you are guilty, it's time for you to come forward. I'm like, poor Jen Shah is being dragged to the mud in this season. Giselle, when she arrived, the first question that she asked Heather was about Jen Shah. And on the last episode, once again, she brings up Jen Shah. And Jen Shah is not getting any money, any coins from being mentioned on the show. She's paying her time in jail. And I'm kind of curious to know what she think about this. I mean, it's not like she can damage her image anymore. I mean, she's in jail for committing a huge crime. So I'm pretty sure she doesn't care what Giselle has to say. But it will be really interesting in a few years. I'm not really sure if Jen Shah is going to come back to reality TV, let alone to come back to Real Housewives in any form or shape. We don't know that. But if she comes back to the shows, I would like to see the interaction between Giselle and Jen Shah when Jen Shah is free and Giselle has to face her after bringing her name up every time that she had a chance on this show that James is not part of. That's just my opinion. There was a very cute moment between Heather and Whitney. I'm kind of liking that they're kind of like fixing their friendship. I prefer them not being so close because I feel like Whitney thrives more in Salt Lake City when she is not under Heather's shadow. It feels like Heather requires to always be above people, always requires to be kind of like the alpha of the group when she's barely a beta. Uh, and Whitney tends to make herself smaller when she's around Whitney. I like Whitney when she is free to say what she wants to say and thrive, um, away from Heather. I still believe there's um, a lot of drama to uncork when they're filming the new season right now, because they are filming. A couple of days ago, Whitney hosted an event. All the housewives were present. There was a newbie too. It's already having issues with Lisa Barlow. So talking about Lisa Barlow, that's the moment that I wanted to share with you guys. During the episode, Whitney and Heather show Candace their like theme song, and it's like that, like Whitney, Heather, bad weather, tornado, spin the truth, destroy. It was cute. And you know who invented and created all that? Lisa Barlow. That was Lisa Barlow's impact all the way to Thailand. So once again, Lisa Barlow being the star of Salt Lake City, and she's still the star of like the show even when she's not present. Another moment that I found really endearing is when they were heading to their last dinner in Thailand. They were going in two different buses, and in one bus is Heather, Leah, Candace, and Whitney, and the other one is Marisol, Portia, Giselle, and Alexia. They were having such a good time. Whitney, Heather, Candice, and Leah. That bus was the fun ride. I want to be in that bus. That's gonna be me and my friends in Vegas, you guys. Like just riding, singing to Drive Back, just being silly. That's the mode. That's the vibe that we're going for in Vegas. So if you want a good time, you want to ride with us. That's how you're gonna see us like walking down the strip and just like being silly, being drunk, being fun. That's the vibe. Once again, if you want to join us, you know where to find us. You know where to find me. You can send me an email. You can send me a post on Instagram. I said it last week. If you are going to BravoCon and you want to meet up, I'm excited to meet you all. If you are going to BravoCon, I'll be around to say hello, take pictures, and talk about Housewives and Bravo shows in person. That would be amazing to get to talk to you guys in person. There was a moment during this dinner when Pepsi arrived once again with that goddamn bottle of tequila. I'm shocked that they made this bottle a whole theme. I wonder if Casa del Azul paid for this advertisement, because literally, this is product placement. This is advertisement for that tequila. I'm still wondering if they actually paid for the tequila to be displayed on the show. There was a huge poster of it for a dinner. Then we see Pepsi arriving to this dinner, the last dinner, holding the bottle with like the spotlight on him and whatever. Like it's like baby Jesus arriving to uh to Mary and Joseph, the nativity or whatever he calls. You know, that's what I'm thinking it is. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm putting one and one together. I'm pretty sure Casa del Azul was a sponsor or like low key pay for some of this show, and they wanted the product to be Sean, and that's smart because a lot of people watch the show and be like, you know what? Let me get that. I We've been talking about this bottle for the past like 3 episodes. So now we have Casa del Azul in our brains, and when we see the bottle, we associate it right away with the show. So that was smart. I got it. It was product placement. We solved the problem. That's why we have to deal with Giselle talking about the goddamn bottle for like half of the show. But the funny part is when Pepsi brings the bottle, everybody's happy, everybody's having a good time, saying thank you, Pepsi, for being so kind to go through all these issues to find the bottle. And then you get Candice. This is why I love Candice. She's a firecracker and she has no problem saying stuff the way that it is. She said, and I quote, "We are rewarding demon behavior. That bottle don't deserve Giselle." Only Candice. Candice reads are so freaking iconic. You know, in a previous scene when they were talking about, the Chris situation, you know, on Potomac in last season, she said that Giselle, and I quote once again, she is a lying Me Too Boston fake accuser of sexual assault. I don't know where she get this stuff. Candice Reeds needs to be studied. Her brain is like a library that you just pick different reads and they all are so spot on. I love that about her. I wish I had that witty uh, sense of humor and sense of comeback because those clackback are just so interesting and so iconic, and the way she connects the situation with what's happening and the words that she used, that is a talent. That is a freaking talent. um then obviously the last day of the show and blah blah blah, they were happy, they were going back home. Alexia and Marisol had a little like argument, but then they went home best friends. Like we didn't know they were already best friends. But yeah, the show ended, and I'm watching the episode, and then after they roll the credits, there's a little scene with Giselle wondering like, where is the bottle? Once again, the goddamn bottle. So we find out that Heather stole the bottle, or allegedly, or whatever, based on what we saw. She stole the bottle. Leah found it, and Leah gave it to Candace to keep as a souvenir. So that's what really happened with that goddamn bottle. So I hope Giselle apologizes to Candace because she pointed at Candace, but in reality it was Heather, and then Leah stole it from Heather. So it's like a whole chain reaction for that bottle. And I'm happy that it's over so we don't have to talk about that tequila brand one more time. Let's go to Vanderpump Rules. Vanderpump Rules is having their best season yet. It's been dramatic. It's been, I mean, with the Scandoval, it's been scandalous. And on the last episode, we started to see a glimpse of Scandoval because Ali, James, James' girlfriend, James's girlfriend, she saw Sandoval and Rachel dancing at 1 a.m. in the morning at the Abbey. She told that to the ladies, and then she explained to Jane that she said it in a moment of like drinking and sharing with the girls. And Jane said, I mean, it's Sandoval. It's probably nothing. You know what's interesting? That an outsider, a new set of eyes, noticed that there was something off. That it was not just friendly dancing. It, she started to notice something. Her brain started to click, maybe because she didn't know the dynamic that this group have. But other people in the show were like, you know what? Yeah, they were dancing at 1 a.m. That doesn't sound anything scandalous. If they knew what was happening, it's nuts. So Ali, being somebody who was not directly involved with this group for a very long time, She's a new person. She's a fresh person in the group. She's new to the dynamics that are happening. She noticed. She noticed uh, Sandoval and Rachel's kind of like behavior. She said in her confessional, like, I don't know how Ariana does it. She said, like, the first thing that we asked was, where is Ariana? Because they were out and about at 1 a.m. in the morning dancing around. And she felt like that was not appropriate, you know? And yeah, some people can be friends. Some like people from the opposite sets or whatever can be friends and be out and partying. But you can sense that. You can definitely tell when somebody is hiding something or are playing the game. I'm actually kind of tired though of Swords and Sandoval restaurant storyline. I feel like it's been going on the whole entire season, and all we know so far it's that they can find a date to open it, and that's it. We don't know anything else. We know that their partner is dragging the opening, and Sandoval is always complaining. But I mean, if in reality Sandoval and Swords were the ones losing money out of this deal, they needed to put their foot down from the beginning. And I'm happy the Swords was calling out Sandoval because he said it. He said it like at one point he got tired of Sandoval going out and practicing with the band and doing his nails, having those as priority over the business. And that's how you know somebody has no idea about business. How can you prioritize getting your nails done over focusing on your business? The business, you're crying on a confessional because you put money from your parents' retirement to be able to get that spot. So that shows that you don't give a fuck. Am I wrong for thinking that? I want to know. Because Sandoval, for a 40-year-old man, has the priority of a high schooler. Band practice, nails done. Like, who are you? Britney Spears in Baby One More Time in 1999? Like, grow up. And maybe that's why Ariana got tired of his nonsense, because there was also a scene where they were talking about the issues in the relationship. And it's fucked up that we found out that the day that he mentioned uh, the whole affair to Ariana was a day when Ariana was talking about freezing the eggs. And on the last episode, she's talking about it with him. She's like, yeah, I froze my eggs. Let's fertilize them, have embryos and whatever. I mean, she said, I don't want to be pregnant, but like, who knows? So she started to think about the future with him. Sandoval said it on his horrible interview with you know, James, whatever. Um, that when they went to therapy, Ariana started to change for him, you know, but it was too late. That's what people do when you go to therapy. That's the whole point, right? You go to therapy to fix the issues, and sometimes those issues are fixed by making changes in the way that you think and view things just for the sake of saving your relationship. So the fact, once again, the Sandoval's priorities are all fucked is that we have the way that the relationship ended. And I don't want Ariana to be in an unhappy relationship. So them ending it might be the best thing that happened to both of them. But the way that it ended, the way that Sandoval decided to, proceed on his relationship and damage it by sleeping with Rachel, which, by the way, for what it sounds like, it's already toxic, and they might not even talking anymore. That is fucked up. That to me doesn't make any freaking sense. Not coming from a 40-year-old man who should know better. You know, man, watching Vanderpump Rules is like traumatic nowadays. I've seen a lot of people being so obsessed with Scandoval, but I'm actually just want this season to be over. Not because it's bad. I'm actually enjoying it. I love Vanderpump Rules, but I just want to get to that point when we can close the book on the Scandoval and move forward. Because as we see on the internet, they are moving forward. They are moving on. Ariana has a brand new man who I think is absolutely hot. The guy owns a fitness center. They were, making out and having fun at Coachella. The guy lived in New York. You know, Ariana came to New York for a Bloomingdale's advertisement. She looks absolutely beautiful and she's thriving like she should. And then you have Sandoval going to like a spa, retreat, wellness, health, whatever, and he's fighting with them because they posted a picture with a caption on Instagram that is kind of alluding to Vanderpump Rules. And he got mad, which, by the way, it is a little tacky for that place to do. I mean, it's supposed to be a place to feel safe and whatever for whatever he's going through. I mean, he probably is going through something, whatever he's going through, and he wanted some peace of mind. And he went to that place, and that place used it as like an advertising for the resort or whatever it is. Tacky. It's a little tacky. Let's call it for what it is. Just because I don't like Sandoval doesn't mean that I can see the place was kind of using his image to kind of like drive attention to their Instagram account, which is, like I said, is tacky. One person who actually has her head in the right places is Charlie. And I want to mention that because Charlie needs to have more screen time. Whenever she's on the screen, sometimes she might be a little too forward, but she had said some great stuff. On this particular case, she was talking to Rachel about what happened with Swords, and she said to her that it was very distasteful to make out with Swords in Mexico because that was Katie's anniversary with Swords, because Katie asked her not to, and also because it was not the right place, right time. You know. Also, Rachel complained to Charlie that Katie was the one who decided to go to Mexico, and even Charlie said like, "Hey, bitch, she paid for it. She paid for that room. Just because Sheena didn't want her in the party anymore, she's not gonna lose that money. She wanted to go. End of the story. She paid for the room. If she wants to go, that's her prerogative." So I appreciate how Charlie can be a good friend to Rachel by pointing out where she is wrong. And not that many people do that in like these shows. They tend to like have this like loyalty where they don't address the problems and they just pretend it never happened. So Charlie sat there in front of Rachel, who's her friend at that point, not anymore, as we know, and she said like, "You fucked up for doing what you did in Mexico." I appreciate that. I need Charlie to have a little more of saying. I think she should be a full time. She brings more to the table that I don't know, Rachel. The only reason why Rachel is a theme right now is because she slept with every single person on that show. Because on her own, she's not that interesting. She's not that interesting. I mean, being a pageant girl is not interesting. So I appreciate Charlie more than Rachel, even before the whole scandal. Last season was the same thing too. The only reason why she was on the picture was because she was engaged to James. That's the only reason why she was even relevant to the storyline. If she wasn't with James, James was already a main cast member. He brings more to the table. He's been involved with the drama for longer than she has. If they weren't together, she wasn't even needed. She wasn't needed. Same thing on this season. The only reason why she is so important for the story, it's because her pattern of going after the guys on the show. And I'm not blaming her for this. She's single, she can do whatever she wants. That's fair point. But as a reality TV show, as a reality star, she is not that interesting. She's pretty. She's a very pretty girl. But she has the personality of a piece of paper. Non existent. Flat. And having this involvement with swords put her on the map. And then obviously the Scandoval exploding, people, all eyes are on her right now. But as soon as the dust settle, do we want to know more about Rachel? That's my question to you guys. When the dust settle, do you want to hear more about her? Or you just want to move on from this and find somebody else? Because I'm ready to find somebody else. I like Charlie. Bring Charlie. Charlie can be a main cast member. She can say stuff and say stuff that really matter. You know, there was a moment on the episode when Lisa is talking to Tom Swartz and Tom Sandoval, and they call Rachel over because she's working, and Swartz asked her to sit down and whatever. And Lisa noticed something. She said, like, she told Sandoval, "You're smiling too much. Like, you're enjoying this too much." And he got so excited as he's looking at Rachel. At that point, with what we know right now, that scene hits so differently because he let it slip with his body language that he was enjoying having Rachel sitting next to him. The way that she looked at her, the way that he giggled and laughed and even stick out his tongue and like do some goofy ass face, you know, he let it out in front of everybody. And what we know right now, it started to make sense. Like I said before, when I started talking about Vanderpump Rules, this episode is pivotal for the whole entire Scandoval. It's the beginning of people noticing stuff. It's the beginning of them not being able to even hide it anymore. You know, it's quite interesting how many people point that out on this episode. You know, because it started with Ali, obviously. It started with Ali. Then you see the body language with Lisa Vanderpump scene, and you also have that conversation at the end of the episode when they celebrate Lala's birthday. When Katie tell him, he looked at him and said, like, you get to enjoy Rachel too because you go to the Abbey together at 1 a.m. And his face went blank, pale like a ghost. His whole entire secret was about to explode. And I was enjoying every single of it because that he was really afraid that the truth was about to come out. And he didn't know how to handle it. He should. He's a loser. A grown ass baby. How embarrassing! I'm still processing the fact that when Swords complained about how they haven't settled the whole entire restaurant, his priorities were band practice and getting his nails done. I'm still shocked. In a moment of surprise for this episode, to me this was my favorite part of the show. Not only because I got to see two of my favorite queens of Beverly Hills interact together, but also because they take the chance to shade the lady who left from Beverly Hills last season. Garcelle made an appearance on this episode because we know that Oliver went on a date or hung out with Rachel, and he wanted to go on another date with her. So um, Garcelle went to Pump to meet with Lisa Vanderpump to, ask her all the questions that she wanted to know, what happened in Vegas and all this stuff. And the waiter, who I need to know names, I need to know his name because just for research purposes. He was asking them the drink order, and Garcelle looks at Lisa and she said like, "I just love your rosé because your rosé beats everybody else's rosé." And then she was like, "Really? Everybody's?" And then Lisa in the confessional was shading, that woman that just left last season, the one that lives in a house full of rats. She also has a rosé that I haven't tried. I'm not interested in trying. But she took the chance to shade that lady. Lisa Vanderpump took the chance to shade the other lady that left Beverly Hills last season. And I love it. That scene alone, it's why Lisa Vanderpump can easily come back to Beverly Hills organically and still make sense. It will not be forced. The friendship between Garcelle and Lisa, that scene was funny. That scene is what Beverly Hills is missing. That shady, petty, but still, light, you know, shade. We missed that in Beverly Hills. She was the master of bringing that type of shade on the show. Nobody can do that like Lisa Vanderpump. Garcelle is good at that too, but it's in a different level. Lisa Vanderpump's, it's the master of the light shade, the little pokes that are funny and clever. So I really want her to come back to Beverly Hills. I'm really hoping that maybe not this season because this is already filming, but in some kind of capacity, she made her way back on the show, and we finally have that scene between her and Kyle talking about what's happened, and we can close that chapter. Because I still want to know if they will fix their friendship if Lisa Vanderpump comes back to the show. Um, Kane Cordova just saying they say Denise is coming back, but I'm on the fence about that. That's regarding Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. She is coming back as a guest. She's not coming back as a diamond holder. She's going to be kind of like a friend of. Uh, a guest spot on Beverly Hills means that you don't have a cast picture. It's like she's invited to events. She's probably gonna have an opinion on the situations, but they're still filming. They still filming, so that can change. Depends on how many times Denise film during Housewives of Beverly Hills. Is filming. That can determine what is her position. So far, she said it herself on an interview with Vanity. That she is uh, a guest for the show, which is kind of like you have three different levels. You have the full time housewives, you have the friend of a housewife, and then you have a guest for the show. The guest just shows up to little events. But I'm excited for Denise. I love Denise. I think Denise. The problem with Denise was that the group did her dirty on the second season. I don't want to get into deep too much because I think I have talked about this and we will be sitting here for hours trying to explain the whole dynamic. But let's say that Denise was going through some legal battles, and the cast was on board about not talking about that, and Kyle took the chance to go after Denise by trying to get her to talk about that. And that's when the whole Bravo, Bravo, fucking Bravo situation happens. So maybe now that she knows how to play the game a little better when it comes down to these gang ups, the cast of the show is famous for. When the Fox Force 5 was still a thing. Now that this group is pretty much dismantled, I want her to come back and have a second chance because she was great on her first season. People just don't like the fact that she left on her own terms and she decided um, what was best to share while she was going through her custody battle. And I think that's not up to us as viewers to require that part just because this is not like a lawsuit. This is not something like going to jail like Jen Shah, that she was pretty much forced to share that part of her life, and even at that point she couldn't speak on it. The same thing with Erica Jane. She decided to share as much as she could about the problem with um Girardi Key's law firm and the whole victim situation. She was the one who decided how much to share. And nobody said a goddamn thing about that. Denise was going through a custody battle against Charlie Sheen, who's very powerful on his own. He has his own money, his own rights, and she wanted to keep her kids. So that's why we see that shift from the first season talking about how big Aaron's dick is to the following season to try to keep it as PG as possible because she didn't want anything on the show to be used against her. Because yeah, she's been in movies and she's been sexual for many, many movies and decades and all this stuff, but they were filming while that was going on. So anything that was shown on the show while the court was happening, that can affect the decision of the court about her custody battle. And that's what many people did not know or didn't want to understand. And the cast knew about that. The cast was aware of it. They all signed up on it. And it's really sad to see that her own friend, that lady who left last season, who lives in a house full of rats, went against her own friend, knowing that this was happening. And to me, the only reason why they went after Denise was her paycheck. Because Denise became the highest paid housewife on Beverly Hills. And I'm sure most of that cast, especially the four Fox 5 or whatever, did not like that. That's why they went after Denise. So now that she's done with all this stuff, I really hope that Denise comes back. Maybe this guest spot on the show, push her even more to get back to a full-time friend of whatever, because she was signed for 4 seasons. She had a contract for 4 seasons, each season for $1 million. So she left on season 2. So I hope the Bravo will kind of like say, okay, well, you didn't do the other 2. Let's bring you back. I like Denise. I don't think there's a comment here that says Denise needs to face Brandy. I think Brandy sealed her own deal with Bravo with what happened in the latest Ultimate Girls Trip 4 while they were filming with Caroline Manzo. I do believe that she sealed her destiny. I don't think Bravo or Peacock want to do anything with Brandy anymore. That's just my opinion. Everybody was I was rooting for Brandy. I like Brandy. I mean, I like her. I mean, obviously I am a huge Vanderpump fan. When I say huge, it's like Vanderpump is my favorite housewife across the board. So obviously, Vanderpump and Brandy have their own, history of issues. Brandy, any chance she has to try to take a job of Lisa, she takes it. So for those reasons, I'm always like come on, like just let it go. But beside that, I do think Brandy is an interesting character for reality TV. She was great on Ultimate Girls Trip 2. She was great on The Traders. That's the type of reality TV that I feel like Brandy thrives on. And that's where she should be focusing. But after what happened in Ultimate Girls Trip 4, it feels like she it's probably like a non grata person for Bravo. That's just my opinion. I'm not saying that it's a fact. That's my opinion based on what we saw online, the way the Brandy reacted, her commentary, and I feel like Andy was rooting for her too. The way that the he treated her during BravoCon, the way that he treated her as a guest, the way that he said that he called Brandy himself, pick up the phone and call her to invite her to Ultimate Girls Trip 2. And Brandy said, like, I thought you were calling me because I did something wrong or something, and just, you know, because she said that Andy only calls for either really good news or really bad news, but she was expecting the worst. Um, and it was to tell her that they were interested on bringing her back for Ultimate Girls Trip. So Brandy sealed her own destiny and her own faith. I don't know. I'm pretty sure we're gonna be talking about this when Ultimate Girls Trip 4 air next year. Um, I'm pretty sure we will get the trailer by BravoCon time, like they did with Ultimate Girls Trip 3. They released the trailer during BravoCon, so I'm pretty sure they're gonna save that for BravoCon in Vegas, on their panel. But yeah, that's my opinion. I don't think Brandy's gonna come back. Well, that concludes Vanderpump Rules, and we talk about Beverly Hills. By the way, I'm excited for Beverly Hills. People are trash talking Beverly Hills online right now. They're saying, "Oh, this person left, so they invited so many people." Once again, stop talking. Wait for the show to premiere. I want to see all characters back on the show, so I'm happy to see Camille back. I'm happy to see um, Denise back. I know that John Mellencamp's daughter is going to make an appearance too. I don't like her, but good for her. She's been trying to get back. Poor little thing has nothing else uh, going on in her life beside Housewife. Like her whole entire podcast is about Housewife. She said that she was never going to talk about Housewife after she left, but here we are, many years later, only talking about it, trying to get back to the show. Good for her. Um, who else? We know Cynthia from Atlanta is gonna make an appearance. We know that Larsa from Miami is making an appearance. So there's so many faces that I'm excited. It feels like instead of like um, trying to I don't know, to revamp the cast, they want to make it more organic. It makes sense. These ladies run in the same circles. Camille is still friend with all of them. uh Denise is still good friend with Garcelle, and now is really good friend with Sutton. So having them back on the show in some kind of capacity, to me, makes sense. We have Kim Richards filming this season. If that doesn't get you excited to watch what's happening, I don't know what else. I really wish this they would take the opportunity to have one episode with Kim, Kyle, and Kathy. That would be epic because I want to see their conversation, their interaction, and maybe talking about stuff that we as viewers and fans who have been following this show for a long time know, but they try not to talk about it. That's the chance. You know, so far, Kathy hasn't film or sign up. I don't think she's coming back. At this point, I don't think she's coming back. Maybe she will make an appearance, I guess. Who knows? Um, and congratulations once again to Erica Jane on her Vegas residency. I read more about it. I shared with you guys the news in the last podcast, but now the tickets are actually on sale. She has a pre-sale code that you text a phone number, you get it. I'm not doing that because I'm not giving my phone number to some random stuff. I'm not gonna get Jen shot. um, but yeah, I'm happy for her. I'm not a fan of Erica Jane. You know, guys, how I feel. Um, I don't think she was guilty of stealing the money, but I do feel like her reaction and the way that she acted after the fact and the way that she always looked at the victims as an inconvenience for her life. I hated that part. I still do, but everybody have the right to thrive and make their dreams come true. And her dream was to have a Vegas show. She always said it for the longest time. So I'm happy for her. Am I going to see it? No, I'm not going to see it voluntarily. No, I'm not going to waste my money on that stuff. But if I'm going to Vegas for BravoCon and it's part of the deal, I'll see it and I'll bring you the details. Uh, Definitely not paying for it. I'm getting SVIP ticket for BravoCon if it's included. Like, if she made a deal with Bravo to have like the fans that pay the higher tier tickets to go and enjoy the show, yes, I'll go. Um, that's it. I want to talk about real quick about New Jersey because as we know, they are filming the reunion. Actually, let me check my phone because think there are more updates. I'm gonna check Instagram, but as now what we know is that the theme of the reunion is the Irish castle. The theme of the set of the reunion is the Irish castle that they were staying. Um, they have pictures of the housewives in like European royal dresses. I told somebody that I have a feeling that the whole entire set and the dress code is going to be inspired by royalty, either royal colors or royal um, dresses. That's what I feel like is going. That's the vibe that I get from the set. Andy started the reunion really early today, 10 hours ago, actually, just to be more precise. He also shared a little clip where he spoke to Teresa and Melissa, which reveals that Melissa and Teresa got the first seats next to him. That was expected. I knew that from the beginning. I didn't have any doubt that they were going to have it just because they have kind of the biggest fight or issue this season, even though it's the same issue after season. Like, I'm tired, I'm exhausted. Let's move on from this. Like I said on my last episode, if Teresa and Melissa don't want to talk to each other, I want to see who's gonna thrive more when they stop talking to each other. And you know what team I on. You know that I believe that Teresa has more going on in her life to stay on the show than Melissa. Melissa's storyline has always been attached to Teresa. Even the reason for her to come on the show was attached to Teresa. That's my opinion based on facts that even producer had said in the past. Um, but yeah, Teresa and Melissa are sitting next to Andy. Around 6:30, the husbands joined the set. We all know that Gorga has issues, anger issues, and Andy was concerned about maybe him having to get in between two people. I'm pretty sure he meant Joe Gorga and Luis. Um, I know Gorga probably wanted to make a scene or something. Yeah, quite interesting. Andy also said that this reunion has been one of the craziest to film, and he said that he's not exaggerating, that he is exhausted, and we're gonna see a lot of drama on this reunion. The last post that he made was at 9:03 p.m. Eastern time. That was 25 minutes ago, and it's the monitor saying, "Ladies, it was a wild ride. Cheers to all." So I guess that's when the reunion filming ended. I want more tea, guys. I I wonder if Teresa and Melissa finally got to the point where they don't want to talk to each other. I really hope, I really hope that Teresa tells Melissa, you know what? Fuck off. You do your thing, I do my thing. Good luck filming next season because I want to see how you do. Um, I also want to know the whole pizza situation because, as we know, Margaret bought an oven to bring to the reunion. A lot of outlets were saying that she was going to bring it to watch what happened live. No, that oven was purposely purchased by a quote unquote fan page. It wasn't a fan page. It's somebody who was a PR before, and he was friend with all the housewives, and has direct communication with Marge. And the oven was purchased with a purpose. It was purchased for her to give it to Marge and take it to the reunion, allegedly, so I don't get sued. But yeah, I want to know what happened because, to be frank, this pizza oven storyline is so dumb. It's fucking stupid because it wasn't even a deep storyline. It's not that deep. It's literally a bad decision move. A bad business decision. It was really bad business. And that's it. There's nothing else to it. There's nothing else. If Teresa changed the name, that was her prerogative. Because Louis invested on the thing. He paid for the production. He paid for the production of the ovens. So technically, he owns the ovens. So the moment that Gorga was expecting a higher percentage of the whole thing, then I'm like, no, bitch, get out of the way. And we also found out that the whole idea, allegedly, was stolen from a local pizza place in Jersey who Gorga is friend with the owners. So he took an idea that already existed, brought it to Louis for him to invest on that idea, for Gorga to make a profit when he wasn't even putting any money down for it. So if Teresa is holding those pizza ovens, if Teresa changed the name, she can do what she wants with them. She want to get them for free. That's her business. So to me, the fact that Marge went to the extent to get an oven to take it to the reunion seems so freaking stupid. And also, once again, it shows that she does have an arsenal against these ladies. Another point that I want this reunion to show, and I'm gonna find out soon. I want to know if the whole BravoCon incident happened. Like the conversation happened. I want to know. I want to know. We want to know if Andy put the Gorgas on the freaking barbecue and turned up the heat for lying to the viewers and lying to him too and lying to Bravo because they put out a clip of Jennifer just throwing the glass and making her look like the aggressor, to the point that even Andy said that he was so embarrassed for that behavior. But then after that, Jennifer's assistant was like, hold on one second. They are not telling the truth. Melissa went on her own podcast and created this narrative that Jennifer Aiden was the one that was being aggressive towards them. And then we saw the full video and it was them. It was Gorga calling Jen a stupid, dirty bee. And you see Melissa clapping and saying goodbye, goodbye, Lusa, goodbye. That type of behavior. And that's when Jennifer reacted. So I do feel like Andy needs to address this and he needs these people to take accountability for their behavior. The reunion, though, I do know for a fact that it's going to be crazy. I mean, the amount of drama that it has been created, not just while they were filming, but afterwards, insanity. And it's going to definitely bring changes to the franchise because, I mean, based on the ratings alone, New Jersey is not doing so great with the views. And I feel like it's the fact that people are tired of the same storyline for the past 10 seasons. The whole Melissa versus Teresa. How long can we stretch this situation before we get bored? We are bored. And it's time to make executive decisions. Either if they both are going to stay on the show, like, okay, you guys need to find new material. Like find a new hobby. Find a new hobby and let's talk about it. You know, uh go and create a new business. If you guys are not gonna talk about family between each other, you guys are not gonna like each other, let's not even film together. And see how that works. And see how and see who comes up with the best storylines and who can actually produce for a show. I want to know that. You know, we have Jennifer Aiden literally opening up about her marriage and still have freaking fights with Margaret and everybody else, with Melissa, with the other one, and Rachel is involved, and I mean, she gets pretty much attacked in every single angle, but she still have the opportunity to open up about her family, and that is awesome. In the latest episode, she even helped her brother getting an apartment in the U.S. after he moved back home in Turkey, and they moved back to restart their business because the pandemic happened and all this stuff. So they moved back home and they are back now. And Jen had the opportunity to help him, and they show it on the show. Like that is awesome because Housewife, the premises was that it was having women's showing their lives, as individuals, and then their dynamics as a group. And some of these ladies on the show, I don't want to see names, but some of them are Booga Wolf. You know nothing about their personal life because they just ride the coattail of somebody else's problem. So now that the reunion finally filmed and it's over, production needs to start thinking what the fuck we're going to do now. Because, I mean, either the reunion is gonna save the show, or they need to literally start thinking on bringing new blood to the show. I like the newbies. I like Danielle and I like Rachel Fuda and I like uh, Jen Fessler for different reasons. I don't like the team Rachel and Jen, this whole team, whatever. But I can appreciate the new blood in the show. I love Danielle. To me, she's one of the best new cast decisions in Bravo because it's like a fresh breath of air into the show. And I know that she can blossom into a great housewife. So I think Bravo needs to start creating around them somehow. I don't know. But like I said before, the reunion filmed already. It's over. It ended at 9:10 p.m. tonight. And I will make sure to collect as much tea as I can to keep bringing it up for you guys, and you know, keep sharing it with you guys. That's what we're here for, to have conversation, have fun. And like I mentioned before at the beginning of the episode, thank you so much for 10,200 plus downloads since November 2022 all the way to March 2023. This wouldn't have been possible without you guys. You guys have definitely pushed this little small place called Martini with Eddie podcast to a whole new level, a higher level that I wasn't even expecting, and it's only gonna go up. I promise you, there's going to be more guests, more Bravo Labs, more content creators coming here to share their opinions, share their experiences, and I want you to stick around. I want you to come here and share your opinions too and your takes. The chat is always open. You can also find me on martinswitheddie.com. You can find extra tea. The hottest tea is on my Twitter account, Martini with Eddie, and the extra tea on Instagram as martiniwitheddie.com. Obviously, I really want you guys to subscribe to my YouTube channel and subscribe to my podcast. Please, 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 always liking or sharing my podcast or rating my podcast is a way for us podcasters to survive. We thrive because your love, your support. So if you like this podcast and the content, please leave a rate on the podcast, whatever platform you listen to. Give me a subscribe, and I'll be here next week with more tea. I will let you know the guest. I have a big one. I have a big one coming soon. It's gonna be so good, you guys. I'm really excited. She is amazing, and she is gonna come here and spill some hot tea. It's long overdue, and I'm so excited. Then we got more content creators, so stick around. Once again, bestie, have a great weekend. I love you guys. Actually, how about now that we got to this milestone, I'm gonna rebrand my friends. I'm gonna rebrand my besties. How about bestinis? Bestinis like besties with martinis. Let me know if you like it. If you like it, leave it in the comment section. Or I'm gonna make a little what's it called, an Instagram poll, because I want to have a name for my friends, because besties, I feel like everybody uses besties. I want something more personal. I think bestinis sounds fun because bestinis rhyme with martinis. Thank you guys. Have a great weekend. And like I always say at the end of my show, say it with me. 1, 2, 3. Bye, besties.